All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take Sharp and Shapiro. Dennis Silvers, guest hosting as well in studio. By the way, a week from today, this will be a lot of fun. Danny Tarkanian is going to come in. We always go at it. Danny's obviously a big Republican, and he's going to be joining us a week from today. He actually couldn't make it tonight. I believe his kid's basketball game. So he was busy, but he's going to be coming in next week. So
that's good. That'll be fun. He's probably looking at a ballot, deciding when he's going to run for.
So, Dennis, you have a little story. You just went downstairs to use the restroom. What happened?
I just went downstairs, and the first time I've ever seen this, Brian, it says there's a big plaque outside the door, says gender-neutral restroom. First time I have seen that, I was afraid to walk in.
Why is that?
I don't know, gender-neutral. So
was JD in there? JD, were you in the gender-neutral bathroom?
He was not in there.
He's texting all of his girlfriends. I think that's what
he was not in there. But that I congratulate the station for doing that. First time I've ever seen that.
Yeah, well,
KDWN is right in the forefront.
Yep, very progressive environment here.
Very progressive.
I don't know what you mean by the word transition. We got to be careful with that word. But anyway, well, let's get to. I don't know. Transitioning could mean a lot of different things these days. That's all I'm saying.
I was just afraid to go in, so I ended up. Bottom line is, I ended up.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up.
Wetting my pants. So
I'm glad you brought that up, Dennis, because this is a very good segue to the LGBT community.
Oh God!
Okay? So former Vice President Joe Biden, who most likely is going to be running, and I think he will be the running mate running against Donald Trump. I do think that's going to happen. Apparently, he called Mike Pence. Not apparently, he did. He called Mike Pence, our current vice president, a quote decent guy.
And he is a decent guy.
And he's gotten a lot of criticism for the LGBT advocates. And Biden made the remark at a foreign policy conference yesterday, later tweeting, there's nothing decent about being anti-LGBTQ rights. Of course, Pence is a Christian evangelical, has repeatedly expressed views seen as anti-LGBT. So in the midst of all this, there were some celebrities that came out and a lot of people that came out that said, with all due respect, Mr. Biden, being anti-LGBT, which clearly Vice President Mike Pence is, that's not being a decent guy. And in a way, I agree with that, and here's why. You can be anti-gay marriage, and a lot of people are. You don't even have to be okay with homosexuality. But what Mike Pence has done and what his wife has done, they have taken it a step further. And I've talked about this on the show before, where Mike Pence has talked about this conversion therapy, where he believes that homosexuals, going to therapy to become straight. His wife also works in a school, and Lady Gaga actually spoke out about this a few weeks back at her show, where Mike Pence spoke out, where Lady Gaga spoke out and said, "You're not a true Christian," because his wife works at a school, Dennis.
Right,
I know. Where you can't be gay to go to school there, or you can't work there.
Yeah.
JD, what you were going to say something good?
You said he supports it. He supports conversion therapy, but he hasn't actually pushed on anybody, right?
He's made comments about
He just said that he supports it.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks that it could probably be helpful.
Which I think is idiotic.
Okay, but does that make him a bad guy?
No, that doesn't make him a bad guy.
Make him a bad guy,
as long as he's not forcing that on anybody, he could have his own belief.
I didn't say that specifically made you a bad guy, but I do think if you work in a school that does not allow any homosexuals to go to school there and doesn't allow homosexuals to work there, I think that makes you a very simple-minded individual. And I'm sorry, I do.
That's just their belief. That's just their faith.
So why do you have to push
it
on
everybody else? And I want to ask you, Brian, how the hell is your therapy going?
Not so good, obviously, if you can tell. Look, I think when you open up a school, or if you work at a school and you say, well, you can't be this color of skin, or you can't be this gender, or if you can't be gay, you can't work here, you can't go to school here. I think when people start to think like that, it is very, very dangerous for society. I don't care if it's private or not. Dennis, going to the golf aspect.
It's just very consistent with the right wing, very, very right wing religious thought process.
I don't know about it. I think Mike Pence and his wife are maybe a little bit of an exception because they are both very religious people. They're very deep faith. They have deep faith, and that's their view. And like every American, they're entitled to their opinion. They're entitled to their belief.
And that doesn't make them bad people.
Doesn't make them bad people.
Well, let me ask you this then, and I'm gonna switch to
actually calling them bad people is a bit of a dictator approach, Brian.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm going to be clear with what I said
And
again.
he is a nice guy, decent guy, as Biden said.
Let me be clear. No, I'm not a dictator. I don't think a dictator would want equal rights for everybody based on gender or color of skin or whether you're gay or straight. So, no, I completely disagree with that aspect of calling me the dictator. Let me put golf in there, okay, because you are the golf guru, Dennis. Augusta National would not allow women or African Americans to play golf there for years.
Right.
You know why?
For
I'll tell you
decades.
why. Because a lot of people that made the rules there were bigots. Okay, that's what they are. If you look at someone and you don't let someone play golf at a specific place, if they have the money to do it because of the color of their skin or their gender, you are a bigot.
I have
Would
to
you agree with that?
I have to
So
agree
what is
with
the
you.
difference between having a golf course and not allowing somebody play there if they're a woman or if they're black, or opening up a school and not letting someone go to school there or be an employee there because they're gay? Please explain to me what the difference is. Since you agree that the people at Augusta National were bigots, what's the difference?
Well, number one, at Augusta National decades ago, and you're absolutely right, I do agree with you, it's an old boys network, and it still is there. They're in the South. They're in Augusta, Georgia, and it's kind of a to-be expected thing.
Which is sad.
But fortunately, they've seen the light, so they have now, let women join the club, let women of color join the club. But with Mrs. Pence, I mean, she's an employee. This is not her choice. She doesn't own or run the school.
She doesn't run the school, but she chose to work at a school that will not allow anyone who is gay to work
Right.
there or go to school there.
Yep.
That was her choice.
That was
Nobody
her choice.
forced her to work there. She could have worked at another school.
Correct.
So, again, I asked the question.
Here's an example. A Catholic kid goes to a Catholic school, but he doesn't want to actually go to the mass that they have every single day. He has options to go to other schools, just like someone who doesn't like our show has options to listen to other shows.
Yeah.
You can choose whatever you want to choose.
Completely different.
How is that
I don't
different at all?
understand. I don't understand that analogy. I don't understand that. Let's just say someone does a right-wing show or a left-wing show. Yeah, you're right. You
So,
choose.
You can
Okay.
work at this school that doesn't allow homosexuals. That's fine.
Well,
but
here's
there's
the
other
difference.
schools for homosexuals to attend.
So okay. So I can go on the air right now. It's our show, right? What if you went on the radio and said, you have to be straight to listen to our show? That's exactly what that school is doing. You can't enjoy our show or listen to our show if you are gay. Would you be okay with that, JD? Would you ever say something like that?
Is the school free? Our show is free to listen to, Brian.
It doesn't matter if it's free or not. That's not the
Of
point I'm trying
course
to
it
make.
does.
And it's a private school, so no, the answer is no. You have to pay money to go to that school.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
what, though? So you'd be okay if David Duke
Now, if
opened up a school?
if public schools were discriminating against homosexuals, that would be totally different. This is a private school.
So you're okay with a private school discriminating?
Name one private school or name one public
but-
school that discriminates against homosexuals.
We're not talking
It
about
doesn't
that. We're
exist.
talking. So I'm asking you a question then. You're okay with private schools discriminating?
I'm saying there's
It's a simple
choice.
question.
They have their ways that they've had for a long time.
Because it is a private entity and privately funded, they can do what the hell they want, whether you
Exactly.
agree with it or not.
So you guys would both be okay with David Duke opening up a private school in Las Vegas, not allowing African Americans to go there, because it's the same thing.
That's actually not. David Duke commits and has been a part of an organization that commits very, very heinous crimes.
Okay, so you would be okay with someone.
Not allowing homosexuals is not committing a heinous crime, Brian. That's a total stretch.
Right.
What do you mean it's a stretch?
You're comparing
Stretch.
Let's just say somebody with
dressing up in
money.
hoods and
Okay.
lynching African Americans
Okay.
to not being supportive of homosexuality. The two are totally different.
They're not, because in
They're on-
many
they're on
countries,
complete-
no, they're
they're on
not.
completely different
In
levels.
many countries, homosexuals are killed.
But this is the United States.
I understand that, but I don't think it's not as far-fetched as you would think. Okay, so let me phrase it a different way then. Let me phrase that question a different way. Let's just say someone who is a racist, somebody who is white, who has a lot of money, wants to open up a school. I'm not even going to put a name to it. I'm not even going to say they're a member of the KKK. But let's just say, hypothetically, they want to open up a school in Las
I'm
Vegas.
actually not sure that they can. I think there's actually laws against that federally.
So you can open up a school and say no homosexuals.
But there isn't right now. Now, there may be a law passed. Yeah, if it's within the law, of course they can do that.
Yeah, and you know what? The people who attend, they have a choice. Go, don't go. It's their choice.
Well, of course they have a choice, but you're not giving homosexuals a choice. They can't go. You're not giving them a choice.
But they have plenty of schools that they can go to.
That's not the issue, though. You know, you can walk into a McDonald's, and if an employee says, well, you can't come in here because you're, I don't know, African American or something, you could say, well, there's plenty of other McDonald's you could go to. That's not a reasonable excuse. It's just not. Number to call, 257-5396, 257-5396. I guess we disagree in the studio about this. I don't think that should be allowed. I really don't.
just want to know how your conversion therapy is going. That's all I give it.
Well, I gave you the honest answer.
It was very, very expensive.
Let me tell you something. If I went through conversion therapy to be straight to gay, I probably would be a lot happier. Let's put it that way. Isn't that what the word means? Gay means happy, right? I mean,
that's what mean happy.
Yeah. I would be very gay.
I thought Brian set up for the always Trump conversion therapy.
Right. Yeah, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. Unbelievable. Anyway, take some calls, 257-5396. Let's go to Fernando. Fernando, thanks for calling in. How are you?
What's up, Fernando?
I'm good, guys. Hey,
¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está
there's
anoche?
a unisex restroom by the bar. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Where's that?
It's right by the bar at the Suncoast Hotel.
I was unaware of that. I did not know.
Right by the bar.
Really? Huh.
Uh-huh. And what I wanted to ask the golf guru is, with the PGA Tour, who do you think they should promote more? Matt, you know who.
Matt Kuchar.
Can you name 3 players that they should promote more out in the Open?
So repeat that again,
Repeat
Fernando.
that
We're
again,
having
Fernando.
trouble
Yeah.
understanding the question.
Oh. Can you name 3 players on the PGA Tour that they should promote more?
Oh, okay. You mean other than the the good play? Well, yeah, there's a ton of them. I think anybody who's not in the top 20.
How about anybody with a
World rankings,
personality?
They should promote.
How about anyone who's not a snob?
Personality? Well, I agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people out there.
There's
But
so many good players out there, and they're nice guys out there that because they're not, part of the elite, quote unquote, they don't promote. They don't get a lot of airtime unless they're leading the damn tournament.
Not Matt Kuchar and not Tiger Woods. How about that?
Cheapo, yeah.
Let's go to Scott. Scott, thanks for calling in.
What's up, Scott?
Gentlemen, I keep calling in about this political stuff. I prefer to call in for who.
You're very versatile in your calls. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm trying to broaden my horizons here. And, so here's the thing.
Are you in conversion therapy? Are you in conversion therapy?
Yeah, that's 2020 for me.
Go ahead,
Guys,
Scott.
What about 3 years ago, do you remember when ESPN absolutely just blasted it down our throats when they talked about the Caitlyn Jenner and the Michael Sam?
I do.
folks?
Yeah.
I do.
So the only way the way I look at that is there's a guy out there, Six Pack Joe, who owns a farm in Ames, Iowa, who gets up at 4 a.m. every day, and he goes and watches the TV, and he might be on the fence, right? But when he sees that guy puts his foot down and goes, no, you cannot tell me that's the norm. Do I respect people's choices? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to blast that and tell me, that every night that this is okay and this is the new norm, where did Trump clean up? The Midwest and the South. Because he touched at those people's heartstrings.
He does.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, you remember that, Brian, when it was just all like Michael Sam, Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah, they pushed it.
Yeah.
There's people out there in the Midwest and the South where they go, man, those are the same people that voted for Obama, but they said, no, I can't do it anymore. No more. No,
Yeah.
I can't vote Democrat.
You bring up Caitlyn Jenner. That's an interesting subject, and I have a feeling the two people in studio might agree with me on this one. I thought that whole situation, and I could be wrong. Jenner, the whole thing. He didn't get rid of his what, did he? Right? It's still there. He got a boob job. I am very. I don't know. I find that whole thing a little bit puzzling. The timing
Can you say
of it.
boob on air?
Yeah, you could say boobs.
Okay.
Yes, you have them, and I have them as well. I just thought the whole thing, and the Sam thing. I really thought he took advantage of that situation. I don't think he was ever good enough to be an NFL player. And look, I respect people that can come out and say who they are, but I just thought the timing of Sam coming out at that time was suspect.
No, I'll tell you, I'm actually much more supportive of the Michael Sam situation. It's not. I mean, I've been in many locker rooms, and they're interesting places. But Caitlyn Jenner.
Wait, hold on a second. What do you mean? Define
I'm
interesting.
saying they're interesting places to come out and to be around men in a
Careful what you say
in a
when you
locker
say
room like
come
that.
out. Yeah.
I'm just saying
Locker room talk.
It takes a lot of balls, if you will, to do that.
And apparently Jenner still has them.
No, and I think what I'm saying is
I think he's hot.
I'm much more supportive of Michael Sam than I am Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. I get what you're saying. I agree with you. I'm more supportive of Sam than I am Jenner as well. Yeah, but Scott, would you agree with that?
I don't know. I don't disagree or agree. I'm just trying to see. Like, I hold a Democratic card in my back pocket, right? But I didn't vote for Hillary, and I couldn't vote for Trump, so I didn't vote.
Yeah.
Like, the last 2 years, what have Democrats done? And they do a horrible job out of it. They're just complaining, right?
Yeah.
Eventually, you're going to have to say, like, hey, man, we got to beat this guy. What are we going to do about it? There's some guy from Washington State came out today and said, I'm going to take on global warming.
Yeah, the governor.
Nobody cares about that.
No.
Well,
you got to get a strong candidate.
The Democrats
beat Trump. The Democratic Party can't come up with any strong candidate.
You're right. The biggest problem with the Democratic Party and the liberals in general is that they think they're more intelligent than they are. They don't really, and they don't try to actually come at the priorities of people because they don't know. They're elitists and they just really don't know. They have no idea.
And let me say this: the number one priority, the number one concern about Democrats or Republicans, independents or whatever, is the economy. Right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
And global warming, the environment is way kind of down there. Who's got the lead on the environment? I'm sorry, on the economy today. It's Trump, big time.
Well,
big time.
I mean, you could take that two folds and say that Trump did a good job not screwing it up, and it was started in the right direction under Obama. So, I mean, I think there's a couple different ways to look at that. Well, you could. I mean, facts are facts. As far as what he just said, I'm going to disagree. As far as the global warming stuff, you can't say that nobody cares about it. Certainly, there are people that do care about it.
Not enough people care about it to actually sway an election. Is what he's
exactly.
saying.
And this governor from Washington who announced his candidacy for president, you know what he raised in his own state? Didn't even raise $250,000. What's the guy wasting his time for?
Yeah. Well, going back to this whole Biden stuff, the point I was trying to make here is that Biden took a lot of slack on social media for calling Mike Pence a decent guy.
Yeah.
And he actually admitted that, there's nothing decent about being anti-LGBTQ rights. And when it comes to Pence, he's certainly not a pro-gay, whether it's gay.
No, he's not.
But to answer your question, I don't think it's a dictator or your statement. I don't think it's a dictator to say, I think it's the opposite of a dictator, actually. Dictators in other countries will lynch and kill people who are homosexuals. What I am trying to say is I would like everyone on an equal playing field. I don't care what the color of your skin is. I don't care what your sexuality is.
You're censoring someone's opinions and turning them.
I'm not censoring it.
You are.
I'm not censoring it. He has the right to his opinions.
But
I think that's a big bigotry type of opinion to feel that way.
If he has this opinion, you think he's actually a bad human being, is what you're saying.
I think he's simple-minded. A small-minded individual that was brought up a certain way with his religion and just goes by that religion and doesn't understand that the other people, the people out there that are homosexuals that are afraid to come out because of people like Mike Pence. Okay. They frown upon people like that, and I'm sick and tired of people that judge others based on their sexuality. I'm tired of it. Look, I don't want to I don't want to see two guys making out no more than I want to see a man and a woman making out. Brian, I don't need to see that.
Do you think the people that belong to this organization are normal?
What organization?
The organization we're talking about.
What are you talking about?
The LBGT.
Transgenders?
Yeah.
Do I think they are normal? I mean, define
normal?
There's a lot of straight people that are not normal. I don't understand.
True.
There's a lot of people in society that are not normal. But I am not going to sit here and say that any person that is transgender has serious mental problems like many people on the right will say. I am not about to say that. Are there some of them that have some issues? Yeah, absolutely, of course. And I would not want to be in their bodies, and I would hate to live in a body that I want to be somebody else.
I'm a guy, and all of a sudden I want to be a woman. You don't think I got a mental issue?
Well, you can't prove.
Serious?
You can't prove that. I think they're uncomfortable in the skin that they're in, no question.
Obviously.
Look, I would love to have plastic surgery and be Brad Pitt, but that's just not going to happen. I'm not going to choose to do that. Okay, but as far as that's a different subject. When you talk about transgender and then you talk about just homosexuality, those are two different subjects.
If you look at yourself naked in the mirror and you see your anatomical body, you see exactly what you have. You see that you have genitalia, male genitalia, and you look at yourself and you say, "I am a woman." How does that work?
You don't think you have a mental issue.
First of all,
you don't think you have a little bit different slant on life.
First of all, I don't think you're describing it properly.
And should someone who does that and says, "Hey, I am a woman," should they be yielding a weapon?
Okay. First of all,
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question.
To me,
that's a legitimate question.
I'm going to answer your question. Yes, they should be, because they're heroes. And unlike our president who claimed bone spurs, I don't care what you have between your legs. I don't care what your sexuality is. If you are willing to be a hero and serve this country honorably, who the hell are we to say, no, you're a transgender. We don't want you serving in our military. That is bigoted. That is a bigoted. I know it's a bigoted policy.
They put a stop to that.
It is a bigoted policy.
I want to say one thing to Fernando, and I hope he's still listening. The three guys, Fernando, that I would pick on the PGA Tour: Jason Kokrak, Austin Cook would be one, and also Sam Burns. Those are the three guys I'd like to see highlighted more. Just had to get that in for Fernando.
Couldn't even tell you who those three guys are. But
that's why they need more exposure.
I'm not a Jason Kokrak fan, so I don't know who he is. Number to call 257-5396, 702-257-5396. I guess we are just going to have to agree to disagree on this. Yes, so you think if you're in the military and you're transgender, you shouldn't be allowed to carry a weapon? Is that your thought on that?
No, I'm saying if I'm looking in the mirror and I'm completely naked and I see that I have male genitalia and I'm clearly a male anatomically, and I say to myself, I am a woman.
See, here's the problem. You're thinking about you.
I don't understand how that works.
Of course you don't, because you are you, and that's not you. Everybody's different.
Do you understand how that works, Brian?
Yes, I think I do, actually. I've never looked in the mirror and said I want to be a woman, but I think I could.
No, not I want to be a woman. I actually believe I am a woman.
See, but that's not. Hold on, that's not the way many of these people think. They want to they want to transcend into a woman.
You just answered your own question.
How's that?
And I agree. You're looking in the mirror. And you're looking at yourself new, and you go, I got my package and everything. I'm pretty normal, but I'm not happy with it. I want to change it.
Look, you guys
think that's normality?
You guys are overgeneralizing this. There's people that are born with different chemicals in their bodies that are very different than others. You are thinking about yourself, JD, and you're not putting yourself in the shoes of somebody else and the struggles that they go through for a number of different reasons. And I am not about to do that as well. I am not about to judge somebody.
You know why he doesn't? Because he's normal, Brian. He doesn't think that way.
I didn't judge anybody. I just said I don't understand how you could actually do that. And I agree there's definitely hormonal differences. Some people are born with more testosterone and more estrogen,
which I think is a big part of
definitely
this.
That definitely does turn into a big part of it.
There are people
but if you are clearly a male,
you know what?
And you say to yourself, I am a female, I don't understand.
I'll tell you the reason why guys have these operations, because they're just damn tired of picking up the check.
That's a horrible joke. That is just a terrible joke, and not factually accurate.
I didn't think it was.
Dennis
that bad.
It's funny Dennis brings that up because he just told me a story about a date he went on last week where this woman picked up the bill. Isn't that right, Dennis? Didn't you tell me? Yeah. So what are you talking about? You don't pick up the bill. What are you talking about? Yeah. See, now he's quiet. Now he doesn't know what to say. He didn't think I was going to bring something like that up. Yeah. See, now he doesn't. Now he doesn't know what to say.
Oh,
I stumped. This is a guru stumped.
I go play golf with Dennis and one of his buddies yesterday. Okay.
Yes, and we had a great time.
And of course it was comped, right? And his buddy doesn't even offer me a beer. Nothing. Not a drink, not a beer. What do you got to say to that, Dennis? Is he listening? Is your friend listening?
I don't know. Cheep, 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 cheep.
Anyway, look, the point I think that we should all understand when both of you say, I don't understand what these people are thinking of when you look at yourself in the mirror naked and you know, okay, everybody is different.
Well, it's like doing a math problem. 2 + 2 = 4.
No,
it doesn't equal 6. It doesn't equal 7. It equals 4.
Why do people have plastic surgery?
If you look in the mirror and you see that you have all these different things that make you a male, you are a male.
Biologically, yes, but there are people that are uncomfortable with who they are and they want to be somebody else. There are different reasons. I think it is a case-by-case basis, and I think it is very, very, very unfair for you or me to judge them based on that and assume that they have a mental issue.
People have surgery for self-grandizement. That's all.
I don't know. I think people should be able to do what they want with their bodies.
Brian, having your nose done is a little bit different than having your package taken off and becoming a woman. You know what I'm saying?
It's different, but I'm not about to say you have a serious mental problem, or I'm not going to judge people based on that. People have a right to do what they want to do with their bodies, and I think they should be treated equally. And I don't think it should matter whether you're a man, a woman, or both, or whatever, especially when it comes to serving in our military. That's just my opinion. We're just
well, look what happened to the guy, the pinhead that got drummed down to the service a couple of years ago that, was a woman.
Yeah.
There's a guy who's a woman.
I'm sure in a perfect world, people would not want to have to go through the surgery. It sounds like hell. I can't imagine how difficult it is to be born somebody that you do not want to be or somebody that you do not identify with.
Does insurance cover it now?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I have no idea. All I'm saying is I do have sympathy for these people.
It has to be pretty expensive, right?
I don't know. I have no idea.
One would assume it's pretty
Can't
expensive.
be cheap.
I don't know. know.
And my question is, what do they do with the stuff after they remove it?
I'm not going to answer that question. I have no idea. Dennis. Well,
valid, very valid.
When you get a question like that, that means it's the end of the segment. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by Mr. Smiley. Talk a little gaming with Mr. Smiley when we come back. You're listening to the Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.